Yo, chat. What's down? Back at this shit again. Huh? Yeah, back at this shit again. Hey, if y'all wanna catch out my recent streams or my recent broadcasts, they should be on my Twitch channel, or you can just go subscribe to my YouTube channel where I've been uploading my streams. It's DQ. The YouTube is the same as my Twitch. It's DQX Live. Go tap in on there. Go subscribe. All that good shit. But how y'all feeling, man? How y'all feeling this morning, man? It's early morning. Got another early morning stream going in this jump. What's good, Hugo? Okay. What's on? My nigga Hugo in the chat, man. For real, I was gonna do a reaction, but whole time I really just wanted to get y'all hip on something because I saw some. I can't remember. Check this, but I'll check the link after this game. But basically, check this. It's a banger. Hey, Les, I'm gonna check it out, gang, for sure. But I saw some shit last night, right? And it just had me thinking. A lot of people don't know how to go about getting their like first apartment, bro. Like a lot of people really lost. Like you might have the resources, you might have everything you need, but you just don't know how to put everything into play and execute it. You see what I'm saying? I'm finna just get y'all hip this morning. Like, boom, I'm gonna tell y'all how you do this shit from start to, you know what I'm saying, to finish. So you do everything right. So let's start at the very top and we're gonna work our way down. So for starters, okay, to start off, bro, you wanna make sure that you got some type of credit established. That's first. Make sure you got some type of credit established because you're gonna need credit. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're trying to do it the grown man way and you're trying to do it on your own without needing anybody to back you on it. Now, if you don't got credit and you're trying to get your first apartment and you do have money, and I'm gonna get to how much money you need to have in a second, but if you do have money and you don't have credit, you can get what they call a guarantor. It's called a guarantor, right? Basically, it's like a cosigner on a car type shit for you, but in an apartment aspect. You know what I'm saying? So they basically gonna sign the documentation with you saying that if you can't keep up with the payments, that they gonna take over. That is the document that they signing on the agreement with your landlord. So if you don't have credit but you got the money and you know you got like your mama, your pops, an older sibling, anybody in your family that you know you can trust, or anybody you can depend on to come through for you to like sign the documents and shit, get you a guarantee. So if you're going the big boy route, make sure you got you some credit. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you ain't miss no payments on whatever it is. However you built your credit, make sure you ain't got no missed payments on there. None of that. Make sure your shit is A1. You ain't miss no payments or anything you done paid on, you paid it off, or you still paying on it and you ain't late or missing payment. You know what I'm saying? So boom, right? You got your credit or you got your guarantee. All right. Now next comes, you know what I'm saying? Before you even do all that, before you even think about moving, bro, credit is first though. You shouldn't even think about trying to get no apartment if you don't have credit. And another thing you need to make sure you got before you think about moving, you need to make sure that you have a vehicle. You need to make sure that you got wheels, a way for you to move around. Because why else you gonna go move into an apartment and then be stuck there, or have to call people to come pick you up and take you to work, or take you here and take you there? It's stupid. Might as well stay where you at. Make sure you got some type of transportation. You need to have a car. This shit is non-negotiable. You need to have a car. Before you even think about moving, you need to have a car. But if you think about getting your own spot, nigga, you need to have a car. So you got your credit, you got your car. Next comes the money. You need to make sure, now depending on how much your rent is, you need to make sure you have 3 times that. You need to have 3 times your rent, your monthly rent. You need to have that saved up 3 times. So 3 times whatever you will be paying at your apartment is what you need to have saved. And that's just that money. You also need to make sure you have your deposit money. So let's say your rent is 700, right? 7 times 3, that's 2,100. Cool. You need to have $2,100 saved. Now let's say your deposit, you know what I'm saying? Let's say your deposit is 500, 700. Let's just say 700. So let's just say 700 times 4, right? It's 2,800. Am I right, chat? 2,800, right? Because 700 times 3, that's 21. You know what I'm saying? Add another 7 on top of that, 2,800. Cool. Me, if I'm giving somebody advice in that situation, you need to make that 2,800 3,000. Facts. Now this is a separate pile of money. This is just for your apartment for you to get in there. This ain't the total on what you need to have saved. So follow me, you know what I'm saying? Keep up. Write this shit down. I'm getting a lot of y'all hip. You might have the money, like I said, but you don't know how to go about the shit. So that 3 bands is what's gonna be able to cover your now utilities and all that shit, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? That shouldn't cost that much. Like get your utilities and shit turned on, that shouldn't cost that much. Some people include the utility in the rent. Some landlords include your utilities in your rent. So it really depends on your situation. But if we just talking about your rent and your first month's rent and your deposit, you need to make sure you got 3 times the rent of your rent saved. You know what I'm saying? And you need to make sure you got the deposit money. So if your rent 700, you need to have 3 bands. You need to have 3 bands, and that's just for that. Now, besides that money, you need to double that. Yes, chat. You need to double that 3 to 6,000. Because the 3 bands that you use to pay your rent, well, the 3 bands that you have is to cover 3 times your rent and the first month's, you know what I'm saying, your deposit for your apartment. Cool. The other 3,000 will be used for your furniture. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna need groceries when you move in. You might have to buy a fridge. You never know. That extra 3,000 is what you're gonna need. I'm telling you. Especially if you're not moving into your apartment with no furniture, you are gonna need. That's the advice I would give anybody. Whatever the amount is that you're using to pay your whatever the amount is, that's multiplying your rent times 3, and on top of your the deposit. You know what I'm saying? Double that. So if you only need 2,000, double that. If you only need 4,000, double that. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna save you a fucking headache. It's gonna save you a headache because you might end up having to pay movers. You're gonna have to get a U-Haul if you're moving it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Gas money. Then when you first move in that first month, if you want your crib to be furnished or have some type of furniture, you need a couple thousand, gang. It's not cheap nowadays. You're gonna need a couple thousand. You're gonna need a couple thousand. So boom, right? You got your 6,000. You got all the money you need for you to move in your apartment, get all the food, and a couple of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of furniture that you need, and still might come away with an extra 1,000 to 500. But you still might come away with $500 to $1,000 left. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to move in your apartment and be broke, because you know what I'm saying. I ain't gonna count. I know a lot of niggas that do that. They move in their apartment and all the money they spent to move in is all the money they had. Versus if you want to do it the smart way and you want to be able to, you know what I'm saying, really pop your shit real fast with it, already have you some extra bread saved up on top of the money that you got to spend as far as like the rent and the deposit. So boom. Now, for my people that don't want to take the big boy route, it is nothing wrong with having roommates, especially for the women. For the ladies, the females, there's nothing wrong with having a roommate because y'all, with females, it's easier for y'all to share an apartment with your friend. It's easier for y'all to, you know what I'm saying? It don't really affect women. Some women do like their space, but I think it's more of a thing for women to want to share an apartment with another female versus niggas. Now, if you a nigga, me personally, I don't recommend the roommate route, especially if you somebody that enjoy your space and you like to live a certain way. Don't take the roommate route. Just take the real grown man route and run you up some money so you can get your own shit and you ain't gotta split rent with nobody or none of that. Shit ain't where it's at. Trust me. Coming from somebody like me, trust me, listen to what I'm telling y'all, chat. Don't take that route if you don't have to. But if you just trying to get out, you know what I'm saying, you want to get out your mama house and you tired of staying there and you just trying to go you know what I'm saying, get some shit going for yourself and start off somewhere. There's nothing wrong with starting off with a roommate. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So if you take the roommate route, cool. Me personally, I don't recommend it, but if you have to, it is not that big of a fucking deal. Do what you gotta do, nigga. You gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere, gang. So, but back to my method, back to the way I would go about it. When you first move into your apartment, cool. I mean, that's pretty much it. Once you move in, what I did, the moment you move in your first apartment, if you got a job or however you making your money, you need to be you need to be going crazy. Like, nigga, you need to be clocking in. Let's say you move in the first week. Let's say you move in after the first week of the month, or you move in at the beginning of the month. That month, the rest of that month, your ass need to be at work every day if you can, damn near, to get that money back that you just spent. Because that next following month, rent coming. The rent coming now. You got a bill now, gang. Ain't no more of that. Oh, I can save this check. No, you got bills now. So you that all that money you just spent, you need to immediately think, I need to get all that back. Now that's why I said you need to double however much you need to triple your rent and pay the deposit. You double that money that you doubling, you know what I'm saying? That's the money that if you have any money left out of that, that is the money that you're gonna use to get you through the rest of that month. But while you making it through that month, you need to be going to work and getting most of that money back that you just spent. So your ass don't be assed out the next month. So when that next month roll around, you done ran back up another 2-3 thousand. Got that back in your pocket. You got some furniture in your crib already. You see what I'm saying, Chad? That's the way to go about that shit. I'm telling you, that is the best way to do it without you going broke. Now, I probably just made that shit sound simple, but it's really not that difficult though. Like, really, all you need to do is make sure you discipline with your money, and you still not set on spending your money on fucking Jordans and shit. As long as you can start telling yourself that I got bills now, you can lock in with your finances and not be done. It's definitely doable for you to have an apartment. You can be 18 years old and get an apartment if your head's screwed on right. But if you're still thinking, let me go out this weekend, let me pop my shit, let me throw a house party this weekend in my new apartment. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. You need to save as much money as you can and get that money back that you just spent. So that way you won't be behind when the bills start rolling through. That way you won't be behind. The last thing you want to do is move into an apartment, and then when the next month roll around, you bullshitted in the previous month when you're supposed to be getting that money back you just spent to get in your apartment. Now you asked out. The first month the first month that you having to pay the rent again, or the next month you got to pay the rent again, you already calling back home to your mama and daddy talking about, hey mama, can you send me $300 for my rent? If you weren't ready to jump off that porch game, cause me, when I jumped off the porch, nigga, I ain't never looked back. And I consider moving in your apartment, jumping off the porch. Because you basically telling yourself and whoever you were staying with that you're ready to go do your own thing. That's basically what you're doing. That's the player way to do it. Like I said, that if you move into an apartment, and you decide to have roommates, that is not the end of the world, especially for females. I think females can get away with it way longer. If you a nigga and you move into a apartment with roommates, I don't care if it's your brother or if it's just somebody that you know. Don't sit there thinking that you need to, you know what I'm saying, that's where you need to be at forever. I wouldn't recommend you staying there for no longer than a year. 6 months, honestly. Because 6 months is all you need. You know what I'm saying? In 6 months, if you're really busting your ass, you can run up enough money for you to move out and go get your own shit. But if you're just trying to start somewhere and you want to have a roommate to start out with to save more money, but you got your own space at the same, it's not your space, but it's like, would you rather live with your mama crib with your little brothers and shit running in and out of the room? Or would you rather move in with you know what I'm saying, have a roommate with somebody that's about the same age as you know what I'm saying? They obviously they should be mature enough to respect you, and y'all should be able to respect each other's space while y'all living together. Would you rather have that, or would you rather still be living with your mama motherfucker waking you up in the middle of the night or in the, you know what I'm saying, early in the morning, talking about some go take out the trash or get up, go do this and do that. Feel me? Or telling you can't bring this and that person over to the house because you know what I'm saying. That's one of the biggest flexes of having your own spot. You can do what the fuck you want, nigga. You can do what the fuck you want to do. That is one of the best feelings ever. Waking up knowing, nigga, this my shit. I run this shit. Me. Nobody has a say so over my word in this bitch. And that's how you can really move when you get your own space. But you can't be walking around with your chest out, still living with your mama, nigga. Sit your ass down somewhere and do that laundry. Yes. Get your ass up and take the trash out. You ain't paying no bills. Now, if you stand with your mama and you paying bills, that still don't mean you got no say so. But think about it, gang. If you can pay bills there, you can pay bills at your own spot. So just move out and go get your own shit. Whether it be with a roommate or you getting straight to the motherfucking nitty gritty and getting your own spot. Move the fuck out. If you can help your mama pay the bills, you can pay your own bills. Get the fuck out of there, nigga. But yeah, man. So it ain't nothing better than it ain't no better feeling than knowing you waking up in your own shit. Like you can invite over who you want to invite over. So if you got a girl, you know what I'm saying, you can invite your girl over. Anything like that, and you free. You know what I'm saying? You free to do what the fuck you want to do. You pay your own bills. You don't answer to nobody at that point. You don't answer to nobody. You don't gotta explain to nobody why you having people at your house or why you doing this at your house. It's your shit. Feel me? Now, for all the females watching this, if you fucking with a nigga and you ain't able to go over his house, he coming over to your apartment, don't stick around for too long. I'm not saying like if he trying and you know eventually he gonna get his own spot, cool. But if you got an apartment and this nigga, you see this nigga's shoes, all of a sudden you start seeing this nigga's shoes lining up along the wall every time he spend the night, and you starting to slowly see clothes being brought over. Do not let that nigga move in with you. Do not. Now if he come living with you and he paying the bills, different. But my recommendation to you niggas, don't ever move in with a woman. My pops taught me, nigga, you never move in with a woman. You never depend on a woman. You get your shit on your own as a man and then let her come be a part of what you doing. So if you get your own apartment as a man, you come let your girl live with you. You don't move in with her. I don't give a fuck if you is paying the bills. You still ain't got no say so, nigga. Your name ain't on that lease. And even if your name do be put on the lease, she's still gonna look at it like, well, I was the one that got this apartment. So she's still never gonna respect the fact that you moving in with her. Get your own shit and let her move in with you, or get your own shit and invite her over to your shit. Or it can be both. Y'all both can have y'all own spot until y'all ready to lock it in. But when y'all decide to lock it in, you don't move in with her. You make her let her apartment go and she move in with you. That's just what it is. That's how you gotta move as a man. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? To the ladies, if this is offensive to y'all, I'm sorry. But I can't lie to my niggas. I can't lie to y'all. I can't tell y'all to do the dumb shit. It would be dumb for you to move in with her. She need to be moving in with you. That's the way it need to go. But it's no better feeling than knowing you waking up in your own shit. Like, it's my shit, nigga. I dictate the traffic. I control the traffic down through this motherfucker. Me and my girl, we can do whatever the fuck we want in here. We do whatever the fuck we want. Anything. We can do it. So if we wanna, nigga, if we wanna do what, nigga, if we wanna do what was his name? That nigga Melvin off Baby Boy. If I wanna do my girl like how he did Baby Boy mama around this bitch, I can do it. And I ain't gotta explain it to nobody. And neither do she. She don't gotta explain the shit to nobody. You gotta explain shit to nobody. But if you still live with your mama, you gotta. Your mom wants you to leave the door cracked, and she need to know who it is you got in the room, and the girl gotta go. The girl gotta go home at a certain time. She can't stay over there. She can't chill. Y'all will never get comfortable. How can you get comfortable like that? How can you ever get comfortable like that? That will never be comfortable. Y'all will never fucking be comfortable. That girl, I'm telling you, there's nothing that annoys a girl more than when she really fucking with a dude and she getting invited over to the house and shit, and y'all can't do what y'all want to do. Because if you think she don't want to get on that, you are sadly mistaken, my guy. She definitely want to get on that, brother. She definitely want to do that. But she know your little brother over in the corner watching. You ain't got, you know what I'm saying? You got a lock on your door, but your mama knocking on the door the moment the door closed, your little brother and them running in and out. Look, get your own shit, bro. Go get your own spot. Then you ain't got to worry about motherfuckers coming asking you who in the room. You ain't got to worry about nobody knocking at the door trying to tell you got to leave the door crack. Nigga, fuck all that. Now you can handle business, nigga. This your shit. That's to nobody. This your shit. Facts. I swear to God, nigga, it ain't no better feeling in the world, especially for a man, bro. Now, as a man, you definitely don't need to be trying to stay at home that long, anyways. Because I realized my mama didn't start respecting me until I moved out and got my own spot. Like she tried to little boy me and shit, tried to make me walk around the house with my tail tucked. I had to show her like, man, look, I'm a man. And if you don't look at me as a man right now, I'm gonna be a man one day. And I'm finna start by doing this. I'm finna show you that I'm gonna be a man one day by doing this, getting my own spot. Showing you that I can stand on my own 2 feet. She gave me mad respect after that. It's like, damn, my son grew up. You know what I'm saying? My son growing up, he growing into the man that he need to be. But if I would have stayed there living with her, you know what I'm saying? Sharing a room and shit with my little brothers and shit, nigga, how she gonna respect that, nigga? She still look at you as a kid. If you a man, nigga, show me you a man. A real grown man can go out and get it on his own. Get it on your own, bro. Now for females, I think it's different. I think it's different from women or women. I don't think no little girl's parents would not respect her for staying there. Like if I have a daughter, my daughter can stay. My daughter can stay with me and my woman or me and her mama. She can stay as long as she need to until I know the right man coming, you know what I'm saying, show me that he worthy of that and he willing to take care of my daughter, then I know she good. But until she gets shit figured out, she more than welcome to stay with my son. Nigga, you got to the age of 21. You got till you 21. Might say 20, honestly. Because the way I'm gonna raise my son, the nigga gonna know how the fuck to get out here and get to it. So he really ain't gonna even need that long. I'm gonna teach him everything he needs to know for him to jump off the porch. But at the same time, I'm not gonna make him think I want him to jump off the porch early because that's how I did it. But he gonna know everything he needs to know for him to be capable of doing that. And if I realize he's starting to take advantage of that shit, then that's when I'm gonna be like, all right, nigga, it's time to spread your wings. Spread your wings. You could have been flying, but you decided not to jump out the nest. I'm gonna make you spread your wings. So my daughter, yeah, yeah, baby. You know daddy got you. For sure. Not forever, but definitely longer than my son. My son, like, no, nigga, like, you gonna have to scrape this shit off the ground just like how I did. Ain't for you, nah. Not finna be here living off me and your mama if you capable of going and getting your own shit. Not going for that. But yeah, man, I got a little bit off topic, but at the same time I didn't. If you planning on getting you an apartment, that is the way you do that shit, bro. Whichever route you decide to take is up to you. But if you decide to take the big boy route, just make sure. That's another thing I forgot to mention. Make sure you're not in debt. Make sure you don't owe no money on nothing. The only thing you want to owe money on, not even that. If you can avoid car payments, bro, do it. I don't care if you gotta buy a beat up ass hoopty or none of that. If you can buy a car cash and it's a good running car, I don't give a fuck about how it look. Do that. Take that route. I see so many people my age, or I've seen so many people my age or around my age, go get tied in with a fucking car note and it's fuck their credit up because they can't afford the payments, or they be broke as fuck all the time because the payments is so fucking high. Don't do that dumbass shit trying to keep up with everybody else. Hey, you got to start somewhere. You have to start somewhere. Just like you got to start somewhere with the apartment, you got to start somewhere with a car game. But you can't think you finna move into an apartment without a car. You got to make sure you got wheels. It's mandatory. Because how you gonna get back and forth to work for you to pay the rent? Come on, bro. Come on. Avoid car notes. Stay out of debt. Don't get yourself in no debt. Not no major debt. Now, if you still paying on the credit card or something, cool. Just make sure you ain't missing no payments and ain't no payments late. That's boosting your credit. But don't go pulling out, you know what I'm saying, loans and shit and getting cars and shit. Like, don't do that, bro. Don't go to the dealership trying to get a 2025, 2026 fucking Hellcat. That's stupid. even if you got the money to do it, it wouldn't be smart for you to go and do no shit like that. Don't take that route. If you can buy you a car cash, do that. I saved so much money. Bro, I saved so much money. That's why I was able to do as much as I did when I finally moved out and got my own spot. Because I didn't do no car notes. I bought my car cash. I literally bought my car cash, nigga. I worked my senior year in school. I worked from like a month before school started. That's when I started working. I worked from then all the way to about 2 months before I graduated, and I bought my car cash. No payments, no nothing. Title in hand. This bitch mine. And on top of that, since I had worked that whole year, I had a couple extra thousand saved up. So I was like, shit, nigga, I can get my own spot too. Well, nigga, I can ball. I really can ball and turn up around this bitch. And I did. And I ain't never looked back. I never looked back after that. My pops, my mama, my brothers, anybody that know me can vouch that shit. This nigga never looked back. Once he did that shit, this nigga never looked back. And I've been growing and going up ever since. But that's how you gotta do that shit though. You can't be playing no games. You can't be playing around with that shit, bro. Like nigga, I'm getting out of school, going straight to work. Literally. Get out of school at 3:30, I gotta be to work at 4. Luckily my pops ain't stay that far away from where I worked. But that's how I did that shit, bro. I handled my business like a man, bro. Facts. That's how you gotta do that shit. I stood on all 10 of my toes and I ain't lift up neither one of my feet, nigga. I stood there firm. And I'm still standing there. That's how you gotta do that shit, bro. You gotta lock in. You gotta be financially disciplined. You gotta be able to avoid going out to all them parties and shit you used to go to. All that shit stopped. Buying all them Jordans and shit, that shit gotta end. Now, if you end up making extra money to where you can do that, cool. But you need to make sure that your bills and everything is well taken care of before you decide to go taking trips and buying Jordans and shit, especially if you a nigga. Females can afford to do that shit because a female she can have 2 or 3 niggas pitching in on her rent and then another 2 or 3 niggas that's paying for her to go on a trip. Nigga, ain't nobody paying your rent and ain't no bitch taking you or flying you out or none of that shit for no trip. Not happening. So if you want to be able to do all that shit, nigga, your ass gotta be locked in. You gotta be financially stable and responsible. You got to learn how to balance your finances and learn and realize the shit that you need to spend. You got to separate the wants from the needs. That is one of the main things I calculated in my head. Nigga, you got to know the difference between wants and needs. Okay, you might want these new Jordans that's about to drop, but you need groceries. You know what I'm saying? You might want this fitted hat that you see in the mall, but you need gas. Separate the wants from the needs. That shit is gonna get you further than what you think. I promise you. Separate the wants from the needs. That's what's gonna keep you afloat. You know what I'm saying? You wanna stay above water. I don't care if it's the water is to your neck. As long as your head is above water, nigga, you can breathe. But if this go under, go. Gotta stay above water. Gotta stay above water. And that's how you stay above water. Become disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Go work out. That shit, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you ain't got time to even spend no money. You get off work, go to the gym. As soon as you come from the gym, go to sleep, wake up, it's time for you to go back to work. You don't have time to spend money. You don't have time to take trips. It's all about locking the fuck in. But for you to be able to manage and hold down an apartment without getting fucking evicted, you gotta be able to manage, you gotta be able to manage and balance your finances, bro. Like dead ass. And you can't be scared to go get money. So when you move into an apartment, don't think that the little hours you was working is gonna be enough. No, that was cool when you wasn't paying on bills. Now that you're paying bills, now you need to pick up an extra three to five shifts every month for you to stay afloat. Now that's just for you to stay afloat. If you want to get ahead, you need to bust your ass. So however much you was busting your ass to save up the money to get your apartment, that needs to double or triple when you finally get in your apartment. You can't have the same work ethic and work at the same pace you was working at when you were saving to get your apartment. Once you get the apartment, that shit got to pick up. Got to pick up even more. You can't keep working at the same level. The shit gotta go up, Chad. Shit gotta go up. You get in an apartment, when you get an apartment or some shit like that, you going up. Feel me? So if you going up with that, your finances need to be going with you. You can't be trying to go up in life and your finances is like this. You're gonna plummet eventually. This and this don't mix. So you need to make sure that you doubling your work ethic and doubling how much income you was making. So if you move in your apartment, you need to be thinking automatically, now I need to be making more money than what I was making for me to keep up with this shit and maintain this shit. That's how you hold that shit down. Putting y'all down, chat. This real game I'm giving y'all for real. Real game. But if you do everything that I just told you, you ain't gotta do exactly, but you need to have them steps somewhere in your equation for the shit to turn out the way that it need to. And that's another thing. For your first apartment, you don't need to move into a fucking high-rise penthouse. You gotta start somewhere. So if you move into, if it's just you moving in there, get you a 1 bedroom. What the fuck do you need a 2 and 3 bedroom apartment for and it's just you in there? Get you a 1 bedroom with a decent sized front room. You good. You in there. Gotta start somewhere. Gotta start somewhere, chat. But you know what I'm saying? Just don't dig yourself in no hole that you can't get yourself out of. You feel me? But if you do everything that I just told you, you should be okay. You'll be perfectly fine. This shit ain't rocket science. You just gotta be prepared to, you know what I'm saying, be able to tell yourself no sometimes when it come to you wanting to pop your shit or spend extra money, because I look at it like sometimes even when you do got the extra bread, that don't automatically mean spend that because you got it. That's not what that means. So if you, let's say the first roll around and you done paid your rent, you know, you got your groceries, you got hella groceries in the crib, the house filled up with groceries, you got your house fully furnished, and you come away with an extra $1,000, $2,000 after you pay your rent. That don't automatically mean go spend that money. That does not mean go spend it. I look at it like this. When you in that situation, when you really handling your own business and you really taking care of yourself, like it's you, it's nobody backing you. You taking care of your fucking self. You need to save as much money as you can. Any opportunity you have to save money, you need to save it. Now, let's say you pay your rent and all that shit, and you get 4 or 5 more checks this month, and all your bills already paid, and you get 4 or 5 checks this month. Okay, that first check you get that month, put it up. Put the whole fucking thing up. If you get paid $1,000 that first week, put that shit up. Put that shit up, chat. Now that second week, ask when you can. Don't even spend all of it. If you get paid $1,000 that week too, I would say put up 500 or 600 of that. At least half of it. Put that up. Now the other 5, now you can use that to go do whatever it is you want to do. You want to get you some shoes, spurs a little bit, cool. If you get 5 checks that month, you only 2 checks in. First check, you put it up. So you get 3 more checks. You know what I'm saying? And you was able to spend $500 on what you want to spend it on. That's how you got to think about that shit. I ain't saying this shit is gonna go exactly like that, but that's the kind of mindset you got to have. I'm gonna save more than I spend. That's what you got to do. You have to save more than you spend. Because if you spend more than you save, you're gonna be assed out around this motherfucker. So if you spend 500, if I spend 500 this month, I'm gonna have 1,000 put up. After that, you can't think, oh shit, I'm gonna go spend this band and that 500, I can put that up and be cool. No, no. Don't fuck yourself. Eventually, you're gonna fuck yourself and dig yourself in the hole that you don't want to be in, and you ain't gonna be able to get yourself out of it without asking for help. And imagine you moving into your apartment and still having to call back home, asking motherfuckers for money. They're gonna be like, shit, you might as well come back home. You might as well come back home. If I gotta still help you pay your bills over there, you might as well come move back in with me. And yeah. Cause why the fuck am I finna help you pay your bills over there when I'm paying my own bills back here? That's how I thought about it. You think I asked my mama and my pops to help me with a motherfucking thing when I moved out, nigga? Fuck no. Hell no, nigga. I don't give a fuck if I was broke at one point. If all my money had to go to my rent, that's what it was. And I'll just have to starve it out for a week until I got another check, and then I could double back on some groceries and shit. But that's just the type of nigga I am, though. Everybody not like that. And don't take that as don't ask for help. Like, no, nigga, if you got people that you know will look out for you, like if your parents is financially well off, or you know they financially stable and they can throw you some money, everybody need help every now and then. But don't just take that as they help me. No, they give you that and they help you. You need to pay that back to them. Because they didn't tell you to go move into that apartment. They didn't ask to be a part of your responsibilities that you created for yourself. So therefore, you need to be a responsible person and be like, hey, Hey, pops, throw me this 200 till I get paid this Friday. All right, son, here you go. He break you off 200. Cool. As soon as you get that check, before you spend any money on anything, that 200 need to be reimbursed to your pops. That 200 need to be reimbursed instantly. Because now he not gonna look at it like, oh, my son irresponsible. He gonna look at it like, my son just needed some help. You know what I'm saying? He a man. He gonna get back on his feet. He break you off, break him right back off. Don't even hesitate. As soon as you get that check, and when you borrow money, if you have to borrow money in a situation like that from your parents, leading all the way up to the next time you get paid, you need to be at work damn near every day. And when you get paid and you have to pay them that money back, now you back good because you got that extra money that when you work that overtime, you got that extra money off the top, and you was able to pay them back. Feel me? It's just all about being an adult, man. A lot of people ain't got that mindset. A lot of people, that's why a lot of motherfuckers, they do, when they go get a new car, they move into an apartment, they had a car for probably 5, 6 months. You go right back to the dealership and get repoed. Or motherfucker moving to their first apartment. They'll be standing for a whole year, no furniture. They have no furniture. They never have no groceries because they financially irresponsible. They not mature enough and they not ready to do it on their own. They just want to be able to take a picture of them. Y'all know how motherfuckers do. The shit's so lame. Motherfuckers literally are moving to their first apartment and everybody picture is them holding the key up. God bless me with this, or thank God, or some shit like that. Stop it. Because your ass gonna be standing there for probably a good 6 months, maybe a year. Either they ain't gonna have no furniture. If they do, they ain't gonna have it fully furnished. It shouldn't take you no longer than a year to fully furnish your whole apartment if you busting your ass how you need to. Or two, they end up having to move out because they can't afford the fucking rent. Which is dumb. Like why the fuck would you want to move out and get your own apartment when you can't even afford to pay the rent? That's the base. That's the best. That's baseline. If you can't even afford to stay there, if you can't even pay to stay there, nigga, why the fuck you want to get your own apartment? You should have already made up in your head and told yourself, nigga, you gotta lock the fuck in. If this how you want, if this is the type of life you want, if you want to be able to move out and get on your own feet or whatever, you need to already be telling yourself, nigga, this how I gotta be. This what I gotta do. This what I can't do no more. Can't go out to parties no more. I can't buy them new J's that drop every week or every month. I can't do that no more. You feel me? Can't do that shit no more, bro. You gotta lock in here. If it ain't up here, you ain't gonna never be ready for it. Gotta be up here. You gotta be mature enough and you gotta be responsible enough to understand what gotta be done. You can't throw yourself in them situations and think that you can still behave or think like a child that still live with their parents. No, now it's on you. So since it's on you, nigga, you need to make sure you never go backwards. You going backwards if you move into an apartment and start still going out to parties. That's backwards. No, them weekends you used to go out to parties and shit. Them weekends need to start turning into overtime shifts, nigga. Them don't need to be the weekends you still going out. You know what I'm saying? Next month they don't need to be the same shit. You buying the new J's that drop. You buying Chrome Heart jeans and shit. No, that shit over with. If you have the extra money to do that, like I said, cool. But most people don't be mature enough and financially stable enough up here. You got to install financially stable in your head. That shit got to go through your head. You need to picture them two words literally playing over and over in your head when you decide to go do your own thing. Facts. So if you're not mature enough and you're not ready for that shit, just stay living with your parents for a little longer until you realize you're ready for that, bro. Because some people be ready for it, some people don't. That's why you got some niggas that stay with their parents, you know what I'm saying, until they fucking, oh shit, my bad. That's why you got some people that stay with their parents until they fucking, that's why you got some people that stay with their parents until they fucking 20, 25 years old. Now, me personally, a 25-year-old man living with his parents still is unacceptable. In my opinion, that's unacceptable. Female is different. But for a man, that shit is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You should be, because I think that's when your brain finally mature all the way at the age of 25. So you telling me You graduated when you was 18. Hopefully you graduated at the right time. But if you graduated at 18 years old, that means for 7 years, you've been sitting on your ass not trying to have nothing. Nothing? I'm not saying you gotta go move out and instantly jump off the porch, but nigga, 7 years, you should have at least, you know what I'm saying, did something. By then you should at least had your car paid off. At least something. Shit. But it shouldn't take a man that long for him to move out and go do his own thing. It shouldn't take that long. In my opinion, it shouldn't take that long. I'm not saying jump off the porch the moment you get opportunity, but it shouldn't take 7 years. Because after you graduate, your parents don't look at you as that kid no more. You grown now, motherfucker. You grown. It went from get up for school to now you a reminder to your parents that bills ain't paid. They ain't looking at you saying, oh, well, no, nigga, that rent due, that light bill due on the first. They ain't with that shit no more. All that kid shit, they ain't with that no more. Your ass need to kick in. So I look at it like this. Since you already know your parents gonna eventually want you to start kicking in or helping with something around the house, just go get your home spot and do it there. Make perfect sense, chat. It makes perfect fucking sense. But yeah, man, like, come on, bro. That shit not rocket science. You just gotta want to do it. Once you lock in with yourself and you tell yourself that's what you want to do, it's doable. I'm telling you, it's doable.